Hello friends, this is me, your host. Welcome back to our channel. I hope you all are well and doing great. So today I'm back with another video to give a review on a book which is Intelligence, Ignorance, the Promise and Peril of AI. This book is by Miles Kenner. What everyone needs to know about artificial intelligence, potential, pitfalls, and power to stay informed in evolving technological world. All this included in this single book. So let's start what we have in this book. Everyday encounters with AI. Let's start with a confession. We have all blamed our alarm clock for a rough morning. Maybe it woke you up early or just waited long enough for a few extra minutes of sleep. But before cursing your phone, consider your smart alarm is doing more than just ringing. And calculating the best moment to wake you. Now even pillows gather sleep data and AI ensures you wake up on time whether you like it or not. Your morning with AI, from alarm clocks to personalized news feed. Your day starts even before you are fully awake. That buzz from your phone isn't just a timer, but your alarm analyzing sleep cycles and picking the gentlest moment to wake you. Some apps listen for movement or snoring. So, yes, something could be monitoring your midnight mumblings. It goes beyond alarms. Your weather app taps into real time data and forecasts using machine learning. Forecasts refresh early and then sometimes are surprisingly accurate. Next, the notifications arrive. Your calendar chirps, reminders, appointments, birthdays, hydration nudges. Smart assistant like Siri or Google Assistant anticipate your routine. checking live traffic and estimating commutes. If there is a jam or train day ahead, they will suggest new routes thanks to algorithms watching millions of commuters. The invisible assistant, AI powered recommendations in streaming, shopping, and social media. Behind every playlist, shopping cart, and binge worthy queue is a relentless, invisible assistant. The recommendations engine. These algorithms quietly shape what you listen to, watch, and buy, often with surprising accuracy. For example, Spotify's Discover Weekly playlist curates song each Monday based on your listening history, comparing your skips, repeats, and preferences to those of countless users. Suddenly, you are enjoying Icelandic indie jazz and wondering if you are broadening your horizons or simply becoming more predictable. Netflix works much the same way. While you might think you are freely choosing tonight's movie, the platform has already presented you a tailored lineup based on your past binges and occasional detours into true crime. Netflix algorithm uses collaborative filtering and content analysis, comparing your view with millions of others and sacrificing titles like chef's tables just when you are likely to want them. Amazon goes even further, tracking every click, purchase, or abandoned cart to recommend products with relentless persistence, turning a simple search for running shoes into a parade of fitness gear suggestions. These recommendations don't just offer options, they slowly shape your tastes. TikTok's For You page is especially adept at this, quickly curating a feed based on every view, swipe, and like. Soon you are immersed in a personalized microcosm, whether it's skateboarding fails or cake decorating videos. YouTube's up next queue similarly draws you further into specific rabbit holes, reinforcing viewing habits and locking you into content loops. The more you consume, the more precisely these engines predict and influence what you will find compelling, making it even harder to break free from the echo chambers they create. While this guidance feels smooth, it can narrow your exposure without you realizing. If you start with a taste for mystery novels, every subsequent recommendation is just another variation, limiting the diversity of content you encounter. A phenomenon called the filter bubble. While comforting when seeking the familiar, it's restrictive if you crave novelty or different perspectives. Without active effort, your interests and worldview may quietly shrink. At first, these personalized at first, these personalized feeds feel like a friend who knows your taste. Over time, though, curiosity fades and scrolling starts to feel like circling the same block. AI at work, automation, email filters, and digital coworkers. In the modern office. Step into any office, whether it's a bustling startup with beanbag chairs and kombucha on tap, or a fluorescent lit cubicle farm. And you will find artificial intelligence quite running quite running the show behind the scenes. No need for robots rolling by the coffee machine. The real action happens in the software you use every day. Take your email for instance. What you used to be an endless log through junk mail is now mostly a breeze. Thanks to algorithms that filter spam with uncanny accuracy. Gmail and Outlook employ engrams, little sequences of words to support scams, scales pitches, and those mysterious offers for miracle vitamins before you even see them. These systems learn fast, updating updating themselves to catch new tricks and occasionally sending your aunt's cat newsletter into the void. Not only do they block unwanted news, but they also guess which incoming messages matter, highlighting the urgent notes from your boss while quietly burying another newsletter about economic cheers. Smart replies have changed the rhythm of correspondence. Now, when an email pops up asking, "Are you coming to the meeting at the at 3?" you can respond with a single tap, "Yes, see you there," without ever typing a word. These suggestions come from machine learning models analyzing not just your writing style but the context of the conversation. The results are short, polite, and sometimes hilariously off the mark. At their best, they shave minutes off tasks nobody enjoys. Sometimes they leave you wondering if you sound more like a robot than your digital coworker. Scheduling meetings has also evolved AI powered calendar assistants. Think XAI or Clara juggle time zones, scan calendars, suggest optimal slots, and even send polite reminders to that one colleague who always forgets to RSVP. They act as digital secretaries, freeing you from tedious back and forth. It feels almost magical until the bot double books you for pilots and a project kick off at the same time. It feels almost magical. These hiccups are reminders. A glitch in the algorithm can still throw your week off balance. Document summarization and translation tools like Microsoft Copilot work overtime in offices where information flows faster than coffee. Copilot can read a 10-page report and spit out a summary before your first yawn is finished. Document it translates documents with a click, lemmatizing complex jargon into plain English or another language. For global teams or anyone skimming lengthy updates, this means less time deciphering and more time making decisions. AI isn't just about doing things for you, but about working with you. Customer service bots now try it support tickets. Before a human lifts a finger. They sift complaints by topic, urgency, and even sentiment, letting they sift complaints by topic, urgency, and even sentiment. Complex problems that need empathy or creativity. Still, all this change brings anxiety. Many worry that AI will take their job outright or make their skills obsolete overnight. The reality is more nuanced. While some repetitive jobs shrink or vanish, others evolve. Employees now reskill constantly, learning to collaborate with algorithms instead of competing against them. Online courses in data literacy or prompt engineering have become as common as donuts in the break room. Yet the learning curve is steep and sometimes slippery. Real world wins where AI improves lives. AI in healthcare, diagnosing rare diseases and empowering doctors. Let's be honest, nobody wakes up hoping to play medical mystery with their own body. But for many people with rare diseases, that's exactly what life feels like. You are bouncing between specialists and each one more puzzled than the last. You collect test results the way some folks collects souvenir mugs. Years pass, symptoms pile up, and answers remain as elusive as your neighbor's Wi-Fi password. Now enter AI, not in a superhero cape, but maybe with the digital equivalent of a magnifying glass and a database the size of a small country. Artificial intelligence is shaking up rare disease diagnosis in ways that feel a bit magical but are grounded in brute data analysis. These are these rare conditions, think of them as the unicorns of medicine, are notoriously tricky because they mimic common illness and often present symptoms that baffle even the best trained doctors. There are over 6,000 non rare diseases, many sharing symptoms with everyday ailments, which means misdiagnosis is common and the right answer can take years to find. This is where deep learning steps in, sifting through medical images like an over caffeinated detective searching for clues. Algorithms trained on thousands of MRI scans or genetic profiles can spot subtle patterns and markers invisible to the human eye. For instance, Phase 2 Gene is a platform that analyzes facial features from photographs to flag genetic or disorders doctors might otherwise miss. It's like having a diagnostic who's seen every episode of House and still isn't jaded. This isn't about replacing doctors with robots wielding stethoscopes. AI acts more like a digital assistant who is always up to date on the latest research and never forgets a case study. Platforms like IBM Watson for oncology scan mountains of medical literature, patient records, patient records and clinical trial data to suggest tailored cancer therapies based on each person's unique genetic makeup. Instead, it presents evidence based options. Emergency departments now use AI powered triage system that review incoming data from vital signs. These systems don't make decisions alone. They shine a spotlight on red flags so clinicians can move quickly when it matters. In places where doctors are rarer than reliable taxi drivers at midnight, AI is closing gaps and saving lives. Out where the dirt road might wash out by noon, the clinic's internet links stays steady, becoming the real lifeline for patients and doctors alike. Their smartphone based AI apps analyze images of blood smears for malaria or tuberculosis with accuracy rivaling trained lab technicians. A nurse snaps a photo through a microscopic lens, uploads it and within minutes receives a diagnosis that would otherwise require sending samples to a distant city. Chatbots have become unlikely heroes too, acting as the acting as round the clock advisors for maternal health questions in areas where obstetricians are a luxury. These bots use engrams and lemmatization to parse questions in local dialects. The emotional impact of these tools can't be overstated. Consider the story of Maria, whose child had baffling symptoms for years. Seizures, seizures, developmental delays, features that didn't quite fit any textbook description. Maria grew used to blank stares from specialists and left appointments with more questions than answers. Everything changed when her geneticist used an AI powered image analysis tool. It was the answer. Within days, she finally had a diagnosis for her, a rare syndrome identified from facial patterns that matched hundreds of other cases worldwide. Relief replaced frustration. It was the answer we had been chasing for so long, she said, and it felt like someone finally listened. Doctors working far from urban hospitals often describe AI as a trusty sidekick rather than an all knowing oracle. Dr. Kamau in rural Kenya puts it plainly. I can consult my phone about a skin rash or unusual fever and get guidance instantly. No waiting weeks to hear from a specialist in Nairobi. The dark side, risks, bias, and unintended consequences. The face recognition dilemma, privacy, policing, and marginalized groups. You are strolling through a busy city square, iced coffee in hand, unaware you have become part of a real life game of Guess Who. Only this time, it's a network of cameras quietly embedded itself in everyday spaces, airports, stadiums, malls, even apartment buildings. Unlocking your phone by looking at it is now routine, but the same tech is used to monitor protests and scan travelers at airports. The proposition is tempting: more security, less hassle. Quick airport boarding appeals to anyone who stood in a long line, but each scan trades convenience for a piece of your privacy often without you noticing. Law enforcement, law enforcement agencies are enthusiastic about face recognition and its promise of predictive policing. Cameras scan faces in real time and compare them to wanted lists. On the surface, this seems to boost safety and efficiency. There have been cases of mistaken identity, like a man arrested simply because he sort of matched a blurry security photo. Airports and border checks now deploy automated facial ID systems to streamline travel and catch forged documents. But these can also create confusion and introduce new civil liberties concerns. Algorithms bias in housing, hiring, and healthcare with real examples. AI was supposed to make things fairer. No more moody landlords, no more hiring managers who only pick people who went to their college. Yet, when algorithms sit in the judge's chair, they often bring hidden baggage. You are hunting for an apartment, fill out the forms online, and bam, an instant rejection with no clear objection. Not because you have a wild pet ferret or a mysterious past, because, but because your zip code sits in a risky area according to the screening tool's data. These tools don't know you binge watch baking shows or water your neighbor's plants when they are away. They see only numbers and patterns. They use n-grams and lemmatization to distill your information down. They compare it to millions of other applicants. If too many people from your zip code defaulted on rest in the past, algorithms leaning on Zipf's law and prioritizing frequent patterns might lump you in with them, no matter your actual record. In hiring, the story repeats itself. just with different costumes. Automated resume screeners buzz through stacks of applications in seconds. Supposedly looking for merit but often acting like over caffeinated gatekeepers with a taste of sameness. If historical data shows mostly men getting hired for certain roles, the system learns to favor resumes that sound male, right down to hobbies and college supports. Proxy variables like names, schools, or even certain verbs become shortcuts for gender or ethnicity. Even when those details are hidden. This isn't outright discrimination delivered by a villain crackling behind a keyboard. It's biased, disguised as math, subtle, and hard to spot. Healthcare is not immune. Think of an AI risk score guiding hospitals on who should get extra follow up care or preventing preventative screening. If the system is trained mostly on cost data, it can easily underestimate the needs of black patients. Why? Because historically less money was spent on these patients, not because they added less care, but because of systematic barriers to access. The AI sees less lower spending and learns that these patients are lower risk, repeating and amplifying past inequities. It's a feedback loop. The system gets more confident in its skewed predictions every year. These mechanisms hide in plain sight. Historical data is the main culprit. It's a record of the past biases cemented into digital stone. Proxy variables sneak in disguised as neutral facts but carry the weight of old prejudice. Feedback loops make it all worse. When an algorithm's decisions influence new data, every mistake echoes into the future, growing louder with each cycle. Digital minimalism, managing AI driven overload in a hyper connected world. Ever opened your phone for a quick check only to lose 40 minutes watching skateboarding dogs and pancake art? You are not alone. AI silently orchestrates much of our digital experience, enticing us to scroll and tap with near scientific precision. Designed to maximize our engagement, algorithms like link viral clips, trending news, and personalized memes into a continuous stream, which is both clever and draining. That feeling of mental fatigue after an hour of illness scrolling is testament to AI's power to fragment our attention and exhaust our focus. Digital minimalism offers a remedy intentionally intentionally decluttering your mental space by mindfully choosing what to give your attention to, and just as crucially what to overlook. AI is valuable for connecting with friends or surfacing great playlists but without boundaries. It shifts into overdrive, determined to keep you engaged long past your intended limit. Social media algorithms are expert at this, using natural language processing and behavioral patterns to serve content that will keep you scrolling, especially the posts that spark the strongest emotions: anger, envy, or outrage. The more you interact with a certain type of contact, the more similar and emotionally charged posts flood your feed. So this is all we have from this book. I hope you guys get the useful information. If you did, don't forget to press the like button. I'll be back with another video with another book. Till then, just take care and goodbye.